Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsinentertainment. You can find Jamsin Podcasts on all your podcast platforms, and Jamsin Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. I am joined again by Mike. He's actually my official co-host. He may not be here all the time, but he will definitely be here as much as he can. You can check him out on Twitch now at Popadopoulos. He's streaming Pokemon.
Twitch.tv/Popadopoulos if you want to come and check out your shiny hunting adventures.
Today we are talking Riddick, a underrated franchise in my opinion. Mike has just recently watched Pitch Black for the first time. Mike, thoughts?
I don't get it. like obviously the movie, I don't get it. Like,
why don't you get it? What are you having trouble with?
Like was Riddick, like, did they expand on the universe because everybody liked the character Riddick so much?
Yes.
Okay, so that was the basis of the character. It wasn't like Pitch Black 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like there wasn't another one of those. Everything went Riddicky. Cause I was watching the movie. I watched it today. I took a couple notes. My notes aren't super like detailed or super exceptional, but it was like so many things about this movie got called into question. I would get hung up on weird stuff, right? Bro, I couldn't tell you. Like, I'll hit you with my big thing. This was the one that sort of set me off on the path of like skepticism. So the eclipse is happening, right? And you see Saturn or whatever planet that is, it's moving hella fast for an astronomical body. Like, it is booking it.
All right, I did think that the very same thing like every time I watch it, but I always say to myself, it's a movie.
I know, but they grounded other parts of the movie in reality. Like, this ship wasn't built to land in the atmosphere. Like, it's a freighter. Oh, we got to do other things. This creature follows our blood, and it doesn't like the light. Like, there were things that were reasonable, and then there was a giant planet arcing towards the sky. Like, at the speed it was moving, it should have. The eclipse should have been a couple hours. It should not have been a year, like the little spinny do thing that was the pilot that Fry found in the
Carolyn Fry
settlement.
Yeah, I will give you that. The eclipse, the entirety of the eclipse, how it forms and how long it stays and all of that, they don't explain it at all. They just it's just a plot device. And I can see how that would bother you, but the movie's amazing. Riddick is the perfect mix of Mad Max and Wolverine. The perfect mix. He is the quintessential anti-hero.
Maybe he's better in the other movies, but I don't agree with you.
Why?
Because there's the one scene where he's like fighting the enemy, and he kills the guy, and he's like, "Who the F you think you're messing with?" And I'm like, "It's an animal, bro. He doesn't know who he's messing with. He's just trying to eat you." Like, was this a throw in for the fans?
No, Pitch Black is the first movie. It's what gets everyone that actually likes it hooked.
Okay.
So, I'll give you a little bit of history, because I watched Riddick last night, the third installment. Technically, yeah, I won't get into that because never mind. I watched Riddick last night, and then I saw the one or two extra features, and one of them was called Vin Diesel's Riddick, where it's him and the director David Towie. Well, not really them talking in a room, but it's a mini documentary of them talking about the character Riddick and how he evolved to who he is now. the writer-director actually wrote him as just like another part of the cast. And within filming and shooting, Vin Diesel took the character to a whole new level, and he's what's really been driving the franchise. If it wasn't for Vin Diesel, if they had like some other actor, it probably wouldn't have become a franchise at all. It probably just would have been a standalone. Like, one thing I was watching, it probably would have become just something that comes up on the Sci-Fi Network, because when I was watching, I was like, this is pretty dated. It didn't age too well.
No, it did not. This is the first time I'd ever seen the movie like to completion. I think I've seen bits and pieces on TBS where they cut it down to like PG, so there's no bad words. And
yeah.
There's just some things. It just didn't make sense.
What about the character dynamics? I mean, especially his opening monologue. I think that should have answered your one question: why he would be like basically telling off a dead animal. His opening monologue explains it all. They say your mind shuts down, like you go to sleep and cryo, everything shuts down, but the primitive side, the animal side, and that's Riddick. That's the entire. That's like his. It's. Oh, I love this character. That's why he's a perfect mix of Mad Max and Wolverine. Because Mad Max is an anti. Sorry, Mad Max is an anti-hero, and Wolverine is also an anti-hero, but he's also an animal, and that's Riddick.
I would like the character Riddick more if I was more enveloped in the franchise. Like if I extended my viewing outside of just Pitch Black. But I figured like that was the origin for the character, and I would want that with the given time I had to prepare for this discussion, and I figured this was mostly going to be you educating me about it, but he was just angry space Dominic Toretto. That's all he was.
Whoever Dominic Toretto is.
That's Vin Diesel's character in The Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah, that's his other baby of a franchise, which I care nothing for.
Oh my god, those movies are amazing. Yeah, I love those.
They just increasingly get worse, and Riddick just keeps on getting better.
Yeah, but see, there's only 3 Riddick movies, and there's 7 Fast and the Furious movies.
Okay,
plus Tokyo Drift, and Tokyo Drift's the best one.
Okay, so Pitch Black is the first installment, but it's not the beginning of his origins. The beginning of his origins is the amazing video game called Escape from Butcher Bay.
Okay.
Him and the character Johns is taking him to prison so he can collect his bounty.
That's the drug guy.
Right.
The drug addict guy. Spoilers.
Yes. You didn't like the dynamic between those two characters alone?
No.
Oh man, I mean the one line. I'm gonna say I don't care about swearing on this because we're not monetized. Don't know when we're gonna be monetized. So they're in the hull of the ship, holding up against the monsters, and Riddick's like, "You got the big gauge, Johns. Why don't you go look? I'd rather piss glass. You go fucking look." I love that banter between them.
I mean, that's like a cool line, but
that's one instance though.
I didn't feel anything for any of these characters.
Oh my god.
Like there's no character growth amongst any of them besides Fry, and the last of her character growth was tackling Riddick to the ground at the end. Like, she was just like, I'm the captain now! And she tackles him and then is like, we're gonna go save the people!
No, there's character growth for Riddick. He actually was gonna leave them behind if it wasn't for her. He was actually going to do it.
Is that really character growth, or is that, like, forced things? Like,
that's what makes an anti-hero an anti-hero. They don't want to do it. They rather be left alone. They don't want to be bothered with anything. But there's always that one thing that's deep inside of them that makes them do the right thing in the end. And that's what happens at the end of Pitch Black. You watch anti-hero movies, that's what happens.
No.
Yes.
No. Nah. I was not a fan. Not a fan of that movie.
This is like Austin is like the only other person I know that enjoys the Riddick movies. I mean, my friend Bob did, but unfortunately he's passed, so I can't enjoy it with him. So the second movie, the synopsis is Riddick is out on his own because there is a short between Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick. It's called Dark Fury, and it's Jack and Imam and Riddick, and they get captured by bounty hunters, and it's just a 30-minute adventure. And then Riddick separates from Jack and Imam on New Mecca, and he goes out because he thinks it's the best thing especially for Jack. Imam, he's an adult, he can take care of himself, but Jack really needed a role model, and Riddick didn't really. Well, it's the one of the lines from Pitch Black that Fry asks him, like, "Come on, Riddick, there's got to be a part of you that wants to rejoin humanity," and that's probably why he leaves Jack, because he's just not at that point yet.
I understand.
So you open it up, and well, that's not the opening, but when you open up with Riddick, he's on this ice planet being chased down by bounty hunters, and once he defeats them and gets a hold of their ship, he makes his way back to Helium Prime, where New Mecca actually is, because he figures that Imam is the only person that he told that would actually put a bounty on his head, and he wants to know why. And it's another reason. See, that's another part of growth right there, because he doesn't trust anyone, but he trusted Imam telling him where he would go, and he feels betrayed for telling him and having a bounty on his head.
I get that that's character growth. I totally get it. But I have not seen that short, and I have not seen the other movies. I've only seen Pitch Black, the weakest movie in the trilogy, and I have not seen the other two. I've stunned you. You're totally silent. You're just like, why?
It makes me wonder if we should just hold this off until you have seen everything, because there are game movies of Escape from Butcher Bay, and then the quote sequel of Assault on the Dark Athena. So Assault on the Dark Athena came out, and they remastered Butcher Bay so that you could play them back to back, because really it does happen that way. And they are great stealth shooter sci-fi horror movie games.
And I totally respect, and I totally understand, and I totally get your love for the franchise, but I can tell you that as somebody that's never interacted with the franchise before, I didn't think that Pitch Black was a very strong movie. Like as a movie, Riddick as a character could be super awesome. I just don't know much about him. And that's why we're here today. For you to educate me on the Riddick universe.
So on with the podcast then.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
It does not matter in the end. This is amazing. Don't get salty.
Well, no, it's not that I'm salty. It's just that I think we could discuss more evenly if you've seen everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because despite the fact that I've seen them most recently, memory sucks. Okay, so the rest of the synopsis for Chronicles of Riddick, there's this race of, well, not really a race, but there's this group of people called the Necromongers. They are totalitarian theocrats.
Okay.
They go around the universe, conquering worlds, and either converting or killing people.
A la Thanos from the Marvel movies.
Yeah, but they're not out for balance. They're kind of a mix of.
I'm feeling like the Borg.
No, I'm going to bring it to real world, and I'm hesitant to bring it to real world. maybe I'll base it off your reaction if it was correct to do it or not, but they're kind of a mix of Muslims and Mormons. Mormons, to my understanding, are on a journey. Well, no. Are they on a journey to somewhere?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Okay, so
I
that's a bad
I
analogy. But
I say
they're
I
like
say
Muslims.
I
They're
say
like Muslims, and
skip the religious connection.
it's going to be historical. They're like Muslims in the fact that, historically speaking, Muslims would go around conquering cities, conquering different states, and either converting or killing people. And now, eventually, at some point, they did allow people to practice their own religions within their own rule. But just for the analogy, this movie, they are kind of like the ancient Muslims, where they went around, conquered, or killed. Let the chips fall where they may.
Oh my god.
Hey, I gave historical context. It's not great historical context because I'm not a historian,
I
but I at
mean,
least know that much.
if I had to make a comparison, it would definitely be in a broad sense the Borg from Star Trek, right? They conquer and assimilate, so convert, or they kill anybody that resists. Like that it's just not robotic. It is spiritual in nature.
All right, yeah, I'll give you that. That's the geeky one.
We are a geek podcast.
Yes, but that, I don't know. That's just where my mind went when I tried to analyze the movie.
Okay. Well, there are very strong Muslim undertones, particularly with uh, the four Muslims in Pitch Black. Like they're on a journey to New Mecca or Mecca, right? There are a lot of what is it called? Allegories. There are a lot of allegories to the Middle East. Um, there are a lot of allegories to spirituality as a whole. The character Iman brings it up quite frequently. Even you see the way that characters fall to their knees, particularly in like a prayer sort of way, in desperation, right? Particularly with the biggest example of that is with Fry at the end, right? She hits the ground, she breaks down, but she's on her knees. She's begging for help, which would be what someone in prayer would do. Is they're requesting guidance, they're requesting help. So there are definitely sort of religious allegories in the movie. I don't think that it's distasteful. I don't think that it's overdone. Uh, and I would say that as far as like representing a particular community, I think that it did a good job of showing religion in a positive light.
I'm going to say, which this may or may not sound like I'm trying to backpedal. It's not backpedaling, but I'm going to say this. Imam is my second favorite character in the franchise. I think it's Keith David's best role that I've ever seen him do.
Oh yeah, he was easily like the chaplain in Firefly.
Yeah, he was
Like,
kind of the glue that kept it together. I don't think it would have worked if it wasn't for Imam.
Yeah, if they didn't have like a spiritual, not a spiritual glue, like you had said, if there wasn't a character like that, they had too many hot-tempered characters. Fry, Johns, Riddick, they were too willing. They were too willing to be in conflict, and you had the character Iman just calm everybody down, especially during points of contention, especially when things were going awry, like when the first gentleman got sucked down that hole. That was awesome. There were definitely things I liked about the movie. I don't want you to think that I'm like totally bagging on your franchise.
See, I was actually, I don't know if worried is the right word, but I was Okay, yeah, I was worried you weren't going to like it because it's a horror film, and you seem just the few times you seem to not be a fan of horror. Because I remember in the one podcast you said, "Don't suggest any horror games. I won't play because I'm a coward." So that's why I was like, okay, he's not going to like it because it's a horror movie.
Uh, Definitely put it more like in a suspense or thriller kind of movie. I'm not a big fan of like gore-tastic movies. I'm not a big fan of like Nightmare on Elm Street and that kind of stuff. I don't want to actively be scared, but I understand like this is way more of an action movie than it is a horror movie.
Which brings up another point. So you didn't feel the immense tension that was in this film that was strewn out throughout the movie? No,
Uh, oh, like between characters?
between the characters not trusting each other. What the hell are these things that are coming after us? And will they? Won't they? None of that.
I mean, some there were characters that really like broke the the vision for me. Like the rich dude with all the alcohol inside a
He's
sarcophagus.
hilarious.
Like he's an idiot. Like and he was brought in just to be the idiot guy. And the brash woman who stood up when she got like laser sawed by the not laser sawed, but like got eaten by the birds. Like
Right.
she was just aggressive girl and aggressive girl's husband, Diggin Man. Like these were characters that were made so significant that that they died and we were so emotionally attached to them that I I just like Diggin Man was in love with Angry Girl and nobody liked Stupid Jerk and you knew at the end that since Stupid Jerk made it past the first 45 minutes of the movie that he was going to be the linchpin that just effed everything up.
Well, yeah, but he was also. I found him so amusing with how dumb he was, especially when Riddick actually introduced himself.
Mm-hmm.
Richard B. Riddick, escaped convict, murderer.
that was a good scene. I really enjoyed that because it was.
Well, something happens. So we ran into a technical error, and now Austin's here.
He teleported in from nowhere.
Yeah, he is also a Riddick fan, and together we will convert.
I my body is ready.
So, do you remember what thought you were on before the technology crapped out?
Not a single idea. I just remember, God damn it. That's all.
All right, Austin, you're a Riddick fan. We're starting from Pitch Black. Thoughts?
It was an interesting beginning for the character. First off, it's not even focused on him as much as it is the other characters. He's more of the lone wolf, the mercenary,
Nobody hates mercs. Don't call him that. How dare you?
what's the word for the guy who walks into the saloon? Outlaw.
The outlaw.
Sure.
He's the outlaw.
The Ronin.
Yes.
The masterless samurai.
Yes, I like Ronin better. Ronin is a much better.
Yes, and he's a mysterious stranger kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
All locked up. No one knows who he is or how dangerous he is. So we play off those characters. I love that. But as time goes on, the focus goes from those main characters onto him. And it's very gradual. So I absolutely love that as an origin story for Riddick.
Well, as I pointed out to Mike, the origin story is actually the video game Escape from Butcher Bay, which is an amazing game. And so is Assault on the Dark Athena, which is the sequel to that game.
See, I didn't know that much, but I had played the first one a little bit, enough to know that is a really scary game.
It's not really scary. It's just a great stealth fighter shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the anticipation, the suspense while you're going through it, It's interesting.
So, what about the dynamics and the dialogue between the characters in Pitch Black? Okay, so Mike, why don't you kind of recap like your thoughts?
Recap my thoughts. So I watched Pitch Black for the first time today because Steve loves the franchise, and we got to talk about it. If it's a nerdy thing that one of us loves, we got to discuss it. As far as the movie goes, I was not a fan. I thought it was exceptionally bland. You could pick out what each character was gonna what was gonna happen with each character. The only character growth really happened at the end of the movie for Riddick. Like, you didn't see anybody change. Everybody just sort of stayed the same. Riddick didn't even really make the hero's sacrifice. It was all, other people. Sort of what Fry got at the end, and even the small character growth that she got was at the end of the movie. You didn't see her become stronger and sort of become a leader as the movie developed. You saw her finally do that and decide that she was the captain at the end of the movie. And as far as that goes, I was not satisfied.
Well, he wouldn't do a hero sacrifice because he's an anti-hero.
He's a survivor.
The anti-hero can have a hero's sacrifice.
Can, but doesn't always.
Yes.
That's very true, but that's trying to take how I feel in a maybe scenario being your defense.
Okay, so Austin, you agree or disagree with me when I say Riddick is the perfect mix of... Oh God, why am I blanking on that right now?
You said it was
Mad Max
Wolverine
and Wolverine. Have you seen Mad Max? All right, he's the perfect mix of Mad Max and Wolverine.
No.
You don't see it.
No.
See, I see it.
You are more of a fan of Mad Max than I am.
Okay, so
He's a survivor.
Riddick and Mad Max are both survivors, but they've both divorced themselves from the human race.
Yeah, he doesn't even consider himself part of what he used to be.
Right. Riddick and Wolverine are both animal-like
Predators.
characters. Yes, so that's why I say they're the perfect mix. He's the perfect mix of both of those characters.
Okay, in that case, yes.
And both Mad Max and Wolverine are very much lone wolves.
Have you seen the sequel to Pitch Black? The movie, not the cartoon.
Yeah, I've seen all. I have, well, okay,
I
Dark
wasn't talking
Fury
to
is
you.
on its way to me, but I've seen all of them.
I wasn't talking to the fan.
Oh. Sorry.
No, I've only seen Pitch Black.
Then you need to see the sequel.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the other movies are bad. I'm not insinuating that at all. I'm just saying that I did not enjoy Pitch Black.
That's fair. We need to redeem the thing now by showing you more of it.
I can see your argument if Pitch Black was a standalone.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, did I think the character Riddick was cool? Yeah, except for that one knife thing where he was like, I'm the best, or whatever he said. Like, I thought that was a little weird, but he was a cool character. Like, he adapted to his environment. He was, just aggressive enough, just sympathetic enough. He goes on and on about being a predator, but you still see like he's just sympathetic enough to help these people, particularly Jack. And Jack's another character I have a weird point of contention with, but
which you will see more of.
And apparently so.
So, what is your point of contention?
Why did they have to? Why couldn't she just be a girl from the beginning?
Well,
like
again, she says that herself. Like, I figured I'd be left alone if everyone thought I was a boy.
Doesn't that like devalue women?
Yes.
It's supposed to be the future.
Yes, but the future is not always great.
I mean, I get that. I totally understand. But this is also, she could have benefited from being a strong female character from the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the movie, especially the fact that she survives at the end instead of being
okay.
the weird kid.
I think you're gonna like Chronicles of Riddick more because they definitely do more with her character, and she's definitely a strong female role character.
Yeah,
she can definitely handle herself in there.
If the movie was more about Riddick and not the characters that I felt didn't add much to the story, then I think I would have been more satisfied.
Yeah,
there were fodder characters in there. Like there were just like this is throwaway guy number 1, throwaway girl number 2, weird bougie rich guy. Like it was basically the side characters were basically Gilligan's Island in the desert, in the space desert.
Well, okay, I know you don't really see it as a horror movie, but it is classified as like a sci-fi horror, so you're gonna have your throwaways.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
It follows the same patterns as Saw.
Yeah.
Gather a bunch of people and put them through a test.
I disagree with that. Saw, at least the first Saw is not
specifically
it's not this at all.
Specifically, the Saws where they had a group of people, random people. I mean, in Saw's mind, there were like, in Jigsaw's.
What? Yeah, he's Jigsaw. The
Jigsaw's
Jigsaw killer.
Mind, yes. In his mind, there was like a huge connection between all these people that he gathered up. But from the viewer's perspective, they're just random people. So you gathered these random people, and then you put them through various death-defying moments. See who survives. We got the same thing. Though it is from the screenwriter's Jigsaw takes the point of the screenwriter, and he's putting his characters through all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real stretch because they're picked for those torturous tests. This just happens to them.
Yes, which I'd like to expand upon that. It's just a bunch of random people, right? You got a ton of throwaways.
Well, to the characters, they're a bunch of random people, but they are essentially colonists on their way to a planet, which later you find out in Chronicles of Riddick. It's just, they call it just New Mecca, but it's Helion Prime. They're on the way to at least Helion Prime to start a new life. Or at least Imam is on his way to Helion Prime.
Well, Helion Prime is actually a really nice place. Really, really bougie. But...
Until the Necromongers.
But besides that, the rest of the galaxy ain't so nice. So, yeah, being a woman in that galaxy, you tend to be in a more at risk for various things because of how vast the place is.
Yeah.
So how vast the galaxy is. You could be a single other ship and it follow you forever until it catches up with you. The guy boards you, kills you, takes your stuff.
You're saying it's more lawless, and so
yes,
Jack's position. Are you justifying Jack's position in the fact that she was hiding her gender?
Yes,
because it's so lawless.
Yes.
Okay, then I get that. Without context of the other movies, you just know that Jack is hiding as a boy, right? If I didn't have context from you guys or outside of the story, there's nothing saying in that movie at all that the universe. I just broke my nail clippers. There's nothing in that movie. There's nothing in that movie that explains anything off of the planet besides the fact that they're on a pilgrimage, right? That's
right. I have to disagree with that only because I look for these things. There are the way the police officer dude acts, the security guard, whoever, the prisoner escort, the way he acts alone shows corruption in the galaxy. The way that she has to hide herself, there's only one reason for that.
I mean, that's fair.
Put the two together.
These could also just be isolated incidents for each character.
They could be, but a proper screenwriter will not put something in without purpose.
Then they needed to do a better job of showing people.
Yeah.
But again, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm totally subject to your opinions and more understanding of the franchise. But it just
I can definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it felt off to me. They could have had her be an empowered female character. She could have been a little more aggressive and been brazen and been the tomboy. So she was willing to help. She was willing to act. She wasn't like following Riddick around and asking for eyes and that kind of stuff. Like, I think her character could have been approached a little better.
Fair enough.
Especially the survivors. Like, I want more out of characters that would be moved into the next franchise than I would from a throwaway character like we had at the beginning.
So are you suggesting smaller cast so they could focus more on the individuals?
I would say any character that we're considering moving forward with, even if that, or any character that we're considering surviving the event, that's not going to get nuked in the first 20-30 minutes of the movie, give them more progression, or give them more than just like scared kid. Every kid is scared. Adults are scared.
Okay.
In this, but she was just scared kid. That's all it was.
In defense of this movie, they weren't really thinking franchise. They were thinking, let's make a movie. I don't think they expected it to explode the way it did and to become a franchise. Much like Lucas didn't expect Star Wars to become a franchise. He just wanted to make his one movie, and if it was a hit, he could make more, but he would be satisfied with the one.
But still, she survived. She survived, and we knew very little about the character. We didn't gain any knowledge besides the fact that the screenwriter doesn't like to kill children. Right?
I don't really know much about Imam either. I mean, he's a good moral person that always does the right thing, and he's on a pilgrimage to New Mecca. But do you really know much about him besides that?
But we also discussed earlier that he was the linchpin that calmed the team down whenever there was an issue, whenever they discovered something that was horrifying, whenever they felt dread. He was there to calm them. He was there to confront Riddick's lack of faith and humanize Riddick more. Like, he was there for a purpose. So take this female character, make her bold and brazen, and give her more of a purpose than just being the kid.
Okay, I get that now. Yeah. That would have been a little more interesting if Riddick or one of the characters, Fry or Imam, took her under their wing a little more. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, like, you could have developed Fry by having her, putting Jack up front with her. Like, we're going scouting, Jack, you're coming with us because we need you to be safe. But Fry is teaching her things and showing her things. When they first find the drop ship and Fry is in there, like, sorting it out and seeing what needs to happen, if she was in there showing Jack something, we would have seen some development in Jack. Jack was there learning about being a pilot. She was taking from another strong female character. She was growing. We were seeing some kind of growth in the character.
Yeah.
But she was just at the place holding a stick. Like, they could have done more.
Hearing more and more of your ideas on it, that would have made a more interesting story. But this is
# not sponsored.
# don't know when or if that will happen.
I could very well just be overly critical about the movie. Because I know you like to review and you like to discuss movies, so maybe I just wanted to be on the same level and investigate and inspect.
Oh no, because I find it interesting that Austin and I seem to be kind of rare. Like this is really an underrated franchise. I mean, I know I seemed like I was joking about that at the beginning. No, this really is. And Vin Diesel actually, I follow him on Instagram, and he keeps up with the fans about Riddick. He says that the new script, it's called Furia, is finished, and he really loves it. His latest post, he said he got so involved in reading it that he for. This kind of sounds, I don't know if cliche is the right word, but this kind of sounds silly. He got so involved reading it that he forgot he was part of the franchise, which I don't know.
That's cool. Like he's so he forgot that he was Riddick. He wanted to know what Riddick was doing. He wanted to know how everything went.
All right, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, Fast and Furious is his baby, but Pitch Black is his debut movie, and he owns his character.
I mean, are you sure his favorite movie isn't Disney's The Pacifier? Because that's some classic Vin Diesel movie screen time.
You really should watch the behind the scenes for that.
The Pacifier?
The Pacifier?
Yeah.
Oh God, I might have to now.
That movie was so good.
Surprisingly so good.
cheaper by the dozen, plus buddy cop movie. Let's go. But moving forward, like I have no doubt that I will like the character Riddick. Like so many other people do. I just feel that the only glue that held the movie together was Riddick. Like if it had been any other actor or any other character with different motivations, like just generic evil guy, I don't think the franchise would have continued.
No, you're absolutely right. Again, I mentioned earlier, if they had anyone else play the character of Riddick, I don't, I don't think the franchise would have become a franchise at all. It just would have been a throwaway movie, something that the movie looks very dated, so something that Sci-Fi Channel would have come up with
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Some people like to see a badass.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you had anyone else but Vin Diesel play Riddick, it would not have worked. I don't think it would
I
have.
agree with that.
Yeah, I
Vin
agree
Diesel
too.
is a badass.
Except
Vin
for when he was in
Diesel
that
is
movie where
Riddick.
he grew hair. The movie where he had hair. I don't think I've
He
ever
had
seen
hair
that
in the
movie.
movie?
Yeah. Google search Vin Diesel with hair. He's like wearing a suit. He's got like a pompadour. It's wild.
But is it his hair, though?
I don't know. He's Googling it. He's
Oh,
Googling
God.
it. Vin Diesel with hair. I'm going to Google it too.
Is there a way to bring that up? What if I do this?
I found a picture of Macklemore.
I can't.
Yeah, he was in a movie. Gosh, what was it called?
Pitch Black's the closest one I've seen him with, quote, hair, because it's not, he's not like skin bald in the beginning of the movie. He has just a little bit where he actually does have to shave his head.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the closest I've seen Vin Diesel with hair.
The movie's called Find Me Guilty.
Find Me Guilty?
Yeah, and he's wearing a wig, but it's Vin Diesel with hair.
Oh, God.
And it's
I think I've got him with his hair.
there's so much Photoshop.
Yeah. But you guys are Photoshop guys. You'd be able to spot it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's
if
why
it was Photoshop, yeah.
that's why I'm willing to accept this one.
This derailed exceptionally.
Yes, it did.
Passionate character.
Dude, Vin Diesel's
Dare I
hair.
share screens?
Huh?
Dare I share screens?
I tried doing it. It's not letting me do it.
Enjoy.
How are you doing it?
Because I'm smart.
It's on Discord. Oh, I gotta hit watch stream so I can see him.
All right.
So you think the picture where he's in a suit is him with hair?
That is
No.
him. That is him with hair in a movie called Find Me Guilty.
And then that one.
That
Yeah.
looks fake as hell.
That
That
does
is-
look fake.
But
It
no, I'm
does.
talking about the one next to the one that you had up first. That looks like it might go back up.
Here.
No,
Oh, well,
no.
yeah. You can't see my mouse.
Go back up. That one, yes.
That's totally fake.
That's fake?
That's
Yeah, that
definitely fake.
That
All
has
right.
to be fake.
Because in certain areas you can actually see his line.
His hairlines?
Yes.
Yeah. With that stubble, that picture you have up, that's definitely from Triple X.
Yes.
I've never seen
I
the Triple
apologize.
X
That's
movies.
Fast and Furious.
Still have never seen the Triple X movies. Never really interested me.
I enjoyed them. There you go.
That is Vin Diesel.
Oh wow, we are so off track. What about
Oh,
what about the one where he's Nick Caging?
Oh, the Con Air picture.
Yeah, go to
Oh,
that one. Go
Third,
down, down, up,
third row, first column.
left. That one. Oh God! All right, all right. Stop live streaming. Oh my God!
Paul Walker with a ponytail.
All right, since we are vastly off topic, Mike suggested off screen that we make this about Pitch Black so he can catch up with the franchise and we revisit it. I really like that solution.
I agree. And after each movie that you watch, we will come back.
Do you want to do it each movie, or do you want to just watch the other two movies and we'll just schedule it later, Mike?
I think that we should do each movie.
That
Okay.
way it's fresh in his mind.
Yeah, because my opinion of Pitch Black is so vastly different of yours, of both of you guys, because you are aware of the franchise. Like, you know more backstory about the characters. So, and I don't. So I think it's a good idea for me to experience the movies the way a fan would. So, a couple
To
days
see
in
your
between,
evolution
yeah,
through the franchise.
and then we round up. We see, how did Mike feel about Pitch Black? How did Mike feel about the movie franchise at the end?
I like that.
All right, yeah. Thank you for both for joining me, even though Austin jumped in later.
It's
Yay.
all good.
You can find Mike. He's on Instagram at Popadopoulos. He's on Twitter at Pope Mike, and now he's Popadopoulos on Twitch. Mike, what's the Twitch channel again?
Twitch.tv/Popadopoulos. Come watch me do some shiny huntings in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
And you can catch Austin on DeviantArt at RNU1. Look forward to podcast every Saturday, and also look forward to my throwback reviews on Thursdays. Hopefully, theaters will open up soon. I can get back to regular reviews along with my throwback reviews. You can find Jamsin Podcast on all your podcast platforms, and you can find Jamsin Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and listening, and live your imagination.